How did men find the technology 2,500 years ago to melt rock and turn their hilltop fortresses into impregnable glass? Can this German scientist justify his astonishing claim that these relics are an electric battery invented long before the birth of Christ?
The remarkable thing is that these objects are 2,200 years old. That means 2,000 years before electricity was invented in Europe, in Italy.
In Athens, has this distinguished professor found irrefutable evidence of ancient wisdom? Can it be that in the heart of this fragment, lost from a ship 2,000 years ago, lie hidden the cogwheels of the world's first computer? Mysteries from the files of Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001 and inventor of the communications satellite. Now in retreat in Sri Lanka, after a lifetime of science, space, and writing, he ponders the riddles of this and other worlds.
A lot of rubbish has been written about mysterious knowledge possessed by the ancients. They didn't need any help from visitors from outer space to do this sort of thing. Part of a vast irrigation system built in 700 AD, still in full working order with a little assistance from modern engineers. But there's nothing mysterious about it. We know exactly when it was done, 13 centuries ago. We even know the names of the builders. On the other hand, there are some relics from the past which are truly mysterious because they challenge our ideas about the level of technology that existed at the time. There are also some things from the past which, though they may not challenge any of our existing concepts, are still puzzling and enigmatic.
Heathrow Airport, London. Miss Anna Mitchell-Hedges, newly arrived from Toronto, Canada. With her in her green bag, she has brought one of the greatest jewels in the world, a headache for the security men and $500,000 worth of mystery. In London, the tangled story of her sinister treasure may at last be unraveled. She found it herself in a lost city when she was a girl.
My father was excavating in Central America, in British Honduras, and we found an old ruin of Maya who he thought had something to do with Atlantis. And we excavated for about 7 years, clearing the ground, and then one day we spotted something shining through the stones, and that was my 17th birthday. So we were full of happiness and joy. I'm bringing it to London because I want the British Museum to have a test at it and to find out more of its history if we can.
Burlington Gardens near Piccadilly Circus. Few of the works of art brought here for analysis at the Museum of Mankind present a challenge as great and as frustrating to the experts as the one Anna Mitchell-Hedges unveils in the laboratories in the depths of the building. This is the weirdest gem in the world. The skull of doom. The circumstances of its discovery were bizarre. Its origin is unknown, and its powers, some say, are fatal.
The Maya people say it was used to will death or to heal. And like if an old medicine man or a witch doctor was getting too old to perform a ceremony, a young man was chosen, and both laid in front of the altar, and the high priest would perform a ceremony, and the old man, knowledge, would go into this young boy, and the old man would pass away peacefully, but this young boy would get up as a very knowledgeable young man. This crystal skull here has tremendous power, but it also gives you a warning that something's going to happen.
To Anna's father, the crystal skull was the strangest trophy in a lifetime of adventure. Mike Mitchell Hedges, explorer and celebrity of the 20s, was a man who'd take on a crocodile before breakfast and before donning his trousers. Primitive tribes offered him their choicest brides and hailed him as a god. And using only a rod and line, he reeled in some of the great and monstrous creatures of the oceans. In 1924, in British Honduras, he found his buried city, Lubantun. Mitchell Hedges believed it was part of the lost Atlantis. With the local people, the Maya, he cleared the jungle from Lubantun's pyramids and platforms. On the last of these expeditions, he brought Anna, his adopted daughter, to the city. It was on her 17th birthday that they first glimpsed the crystal skull amidst the fallen stones.
For days we kept seeing something shining through the stones where the sun was giving, and of course we were anxious to get to that one spot. I went to pick it up because I had smaller hands than the other people did, and I picked it up and showed it to my father, and he just couldn't believe that we found this beautiful crystal skull. As you see, it's got all the little lumps that you have on your own head, and if you look deep down in the eyes, you'll see sockets down in the eyes, and the jaw moves like a human jaw.
Almost from the day of its discovery, this, the largest worked gemstone in the world, has been a mystery. Thomas Gann, who was there, and Lady Richmond Brown stayed silent. Mitchell Hedges simply said, "It is the embodiment of all evil." But the question remains, was it really an ancient symbol of death that took generations to fashion, or could it have been modern? The only hint lies in an uncannily similar but less intricate skull in the care of the Museum of Mankind in London. It was bought from Tiffany's, the New York jewelers, in 1898, property, it was said, of a Mexican soldier of fortune.
This one isn't.
Rock crystal is impossible to date, but the Tiffany skull does bear a faint trace, which could betray the moment when a modern cutting tool accidentally slipped. The tests begin on the Mitchell Hedges skull. It is weighed in water and in air. The result, it's genuinely pure quartz rock crystal.
Oh, that's very nice indeed. 2.65, which is just what it should be. That's absolutely great.
There are no telltale scratches on this flawless surface to help top gem expert Alan Jobbins date the Skull of Doom.
We see no positive evidence on it that metal has been used. There's no positive evidence of that, but it may have been very skillfully concealed.